Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. My name is Malescu and I am the owner of Malescu law firm based in Miami, Florida, specializing in business, corporate and US immigration. We can assist you with all your immigration needs regardless of where you are currently located or where you plan to go in the United States. Today we are going to speak about, can I work while pending a marriage-based green card? But before we get started, please subscribe to our channel by clicking the bell button or the subscribe button. If you've recently married a US citizen or green card holder, or you are planning to marry a US citizen or green card holder, you may be wondering if you can work while pending your marriage-based green card, and the answer is yes. You can work while your marriage-based green card is pending only after you have received a work permit from the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services. So after applying for the work permit and obtaining the work permit from the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services, which is also known as an EAD card, only then you can work in the United States while your marriage-based green card is pending. However, keep in mind that this only applies to those of you who, upon marriage to the US citizen or green card holder, are planning to apply for an adjustment of status on Form I-485 with the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services. Upon the filing of Form I-485, you can actually request a work permit by filing an application for a work permit on Form I-765 with the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services. And you can file this form concurrently with your adjustment form, Form I-485, or you can also file it after you have filed Form I-485. So you can, the work permit application, you can file it concurrently with the adjustment or after you have filed the adjustment and while your adjustment of status is still pending with the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services. However, for those of you who are residing abroad and you marry a US citizen or a green card holder, or you are in the United States but you choose to obtain your green card through consular processing and have filed for consular processing and you plan to obtain an immigrant visa at the US consulate abroad, then you do not need to apply for a work permit. So the work permit does not apply to you. If you plan to obtain an immigrant visa and go through the consular processing, or if you reside abroad while you await your green card based on your marriage to a US citizen or green card holder, then you do not qualify for the work permit, so this video is not for you. Marriage-based green card petitions that are filed via the adjustment of status, so if you are in the United States and you get married to a US citizen or green card holder, and you are able to file for an adjustment of status. Now, obtaining the green card through this adjustment of status can take anywhere from 4 to 12 months or even longer in certain cases. So if you want to work while your adjustment of status is pending based on your marriage to a US citizen or green card holder, then you will need to file an application for a work permit with the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services and obtain this work permit, also called an EAD card, in order to be able to work in the United States while your adjustment application is pending, which can take many months. Now, the EAD, the work permit, or the EAD card as is also known, It is an authorization to work in the United States and gives you the right to work in the United States for any employer, of course, if the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services approves this application. The application for a work permit is filed on Form 765 with the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services, and enclosing the filing fees and also the supporting documents required for your case. Now, if you do not obtain a work permit and you do not have a green card in your hand, and you don't have a visa that authorizes you to work in the United States, then you cannot work in the United States during your adjustment of status, while your adjustment of status is pending with the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services. Any type of work that you do while your adjustment of status is pending, if you do not have a work visa that authorizes you to work in the United States or an approved work permit, would be considered unauthorized employment and may affect your green card. How long does it take to get an EAD card, or in other words, a work permit after marriage? Well, first of all, simply getting married and obtaining a marriage license does not entitle you to a work permit. You will actually need to go through a number of steps in order to be able to obtain the work permit. So first of all, after getting married and obtaining a marriage license, you will need to have your US citizen spouse or the green card holder spouse file a petition for alien relative on Form I-130. So you must have the US spouse or green card holder spouse file this Form I-130 with the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services for you in order to sponsor you so you can later obtain a green card. Now, for those of you who are married to US citizens, together with your I-130, you can also file for your adjustment of status on Form I-485 and the work permit on Form I-765. For those of you who are married to green card holders, the green card holder can file Form I-130, and you can file for adjustment of status only if the visa bulletin is current under your category. If the visa bulletin is not current in your category, then you will need to wait until the priority date, that is the date of receipt for your I-130, becomes current in the visa bulletin. Only then, and meeting all the requirements for an adjustment of status, only then you can file the adjustment of status, and together with your adjustment of status you can file the application for the work permit on Form I-765. So you have that ability to work while your green card is pending. If you filed for the work permit with your adjustment of status application, then you will need to wait until your work permit, your Form I-765, is approved and your EAD card is issued in order to be able to start working in the United States for any employer. Typically, the processing times for the work permit for Form I-765 is anywhere from 3 to 6 months, but the processing times also change based on the volume of applications and other factors at the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services. And typically, once the work permit is approved, your work permit will be approved for 2 years, so you can work while your adjustment of status application is pending. Do I need an EAD if I have a work visa? So if you are in the United States on a non-immigrant work visa and you are married to a US citizen or a green card holder and you are planning to file for adjustment of status, then you do not need to apply for a work permit and you can continue working on your non-immigrant visa. So whether you are in the United States on a work visa such as an H-1B visa, an O-1 visa, an L-1 visa, a TN visa, an E-2 visa, an E-1 visa, an H-2B visa, or any other visas that allows you to work in the United States, then you do not need to apply for a work permit separately while your adjustment of status is pending together with I-130. You can continue using your non-immigrant work visa and status in order to work in the United States. However, if for some reason your employment is terminated or you leave your job while on the non-immigrant work visa, then if you have an adjustment of status pending with an I-130 pending, then with the adjustment of status pending, you will be able and you can apply for a work permit on form I-765 in order to obtain a work authorization, a new EAD card, so you can continue working in the United States. Do I need an EAD after marriage-based green card is approved? The answer is no. After your marriage-based green card is approved and you have received your green card, you do not need to apply or obtain an EAD or a work permit, in other words. This EAD card is only a temporary work authorization, so you can work in the United States up until you obtain your green card. So once the green card is approved and you have the green card, that is the basis for you being able to live and work in the United States, because that moment you become a permanent resident of the United States and you have the ability to work for any employer. So you do not need to continue to apply for this work permit on form I-765 once you obtain your green card. This is all for today. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to our channel, and if you need to get in touch with us, you have our contact information in this video and below this video. We will see you soon. Bye.